Hey there, I'm Kat, and this is Brews and Reviews. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about all the books that I plan to read for the Roll of Reads Readathon. Now, this is a readathon that was created by Mel from a book fiend named Mel, and I'll leave a link in the description for all of the information about this readathon, because if you do want to take part, and I encourage you to because it is really fun, then there are Google Docs to download, have a list of the prompts, and a list of other things that you might need to know. So this readathon is loosely based on D&D. So first off, we needed to roll a D8 to determine how many books that I need to read for this readathon. So I rolled my die and I got a 4, so I'm picking 4 prompts for this one. This readathon relies on a 5x4 game board where each of the prompts are listed 1 to 20, and then you roll a d20 die to determine which number is the prompt that you're going to be picking. So let's get straight into it. So first up, I rolled a 2, and the prompt that revealed was a new to you author, and for this one I'm going to be reading Godkiller by Hannah Kaner. Now this is a book that I've put on a couple of TBRs now and never actually got around to, but I really want to. This is one of the 12 books I want to read in 2025, so I'm definitely going to be getting to this one. It's about a woman whose family were killed by a god's followers, so she decides to become a god killer. She is quite successful at this, and then she meets a god she cannot kill, and I think that's so fascinating, and I really want to read this book. To be honest, I've wanted to read this book since I first saw the cover of this book. You guys know I'm obsessed with this cover, I just think it's so beautiful. But yeah, I'm hoping to read this one for this prompt. So next up, I rolled a 10, and as of this year, Mel has decided to implement like a couple of prompts that she really wants specifically to be picked if certain numbers are rolled. So 1, 5, 10, 15, and 20 all have very specific rolls. So for prompt number 10, you have to read something that is for a project, and that basically means anything that is for a project that you have set out for yourself. And I was just talking about my 12 books to read in 2025, so I thought, why not use this as a chance to read another book that is on that list and pick up a book that I've been dying to read for ages, and that is The Serpent and the Wings of Night by Carissa Broadbent. Now, I've tried not to look too much into the plot of this book because I didn't want to spoil anything for myself. I know I'm coming into this series a little bit late, but I do know that it is about vampires and humans and a legendary competition that's hosted by the goddess of death, and I think there's kind of rivals to lovers-esque things happening, so that's all I know going into this, and I'm very excited to actually finally get to this one. I've been really in a vampire mood lately. I feel like vampires just appeal to me right now. I think they're coming back on trend or something. I just see a lot more vampire stuff and I'm really here for it right now, so this really appeals to the mood reader in me right now, and also applies to this prompt, so I'm going to be reading it. Then I rolled an 11, and the prompt that I had here was mentioned in your favourite show, and I was really hoping that I wasn't going to get this prompt because my favourite show right now is Arcane, and Arcane is not of this world. There are no books in Arcane that I can specifically read, but I have found a way around this. So recently C.L. Clarke has released Ambessa, Chosen of the Wolf, which is sort of a prequel backstory to the character Ambessa. And I am so here for that because Ambessa is such an interesting character. She is so ruthless and vicious, and I feel like there is so much more to learn about her motivation, because I really want to say more about Ambessa, but I fear that I will be spoiling Arcane, so I'm not going to do that. But she's such an interesting character, and her morals and decision making is just really interesting, and I can't wait to read this book. I've been dying to read it ever since I knew that it was coming out, and then I realized that it came out about 2 days before I filmed this video, so I'm super excited about that, and I can't resist picking up. Also, C.L. Clarke, I read The Unbroken by them last year, and I really enjoyed it. So I feel like they're a really good author to actually bring Ambessa's story to life, and I'm really here for it. And then lastly, I rolled a 15, so that means that I get another one of the fixed prompts that Mel has put in, and that is to read one of the host's favourites. So there are a number of hosts, there are a number of books that you could pick, and on this list there is one book that I absolutely have to read because I've been wanting to read it since last year, and then I got in a whole reading slump in October, so I never ended up reading it, and I was like saving it for then, and I was just like, no, I'm gonna read it now. It is Immortal Dark by Tegest Germer. Dark academia, black vampires. What more do you need? So this book follows Keedan, who is looking for her sister after she's disappeared, and she has to infiltrate this university where humans and vampires study together to try and keep the peace. I don't know, I've just heard so many good things about this book. I haven't heard one person say that they didn't like it, and it has just been appealing to me for ages. As I said before, vampires. I'm in the mood for vampires, and I'm just gonna accept that this month. So those are the books that I'm planning to read for this readathon, and honestly I feel like I'm really happy with this TBR. There are some books I'm so excited for and have been wanting to get to for ages. And if you do want to take part in this readathon, then all the links are in the description below, so I do encourage you to. It is always a load of fun. It's always really interesting to see what prompts you get because it's all about luck and chance and what you get when you roll the die. So if you're going to take part in this readathon, then let me know what you're planning to read, but also what your favourite prompt was, because I just really like all the prompts I got because they gave me books that I really want to read. So that's always fun. And if you like this video, please leave a like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!